It's that time again. It seems like it wasn't long ago since we were last here because February is a short month. Caught me out, definitely. But we're back again to show you some more developments, new things that we've been working on and that we've recently released. Two pretty big features that I'm quite excited about. And as usual, we're joined by our head of remote and support quality. That's a new title. It's a bit of a mouthful, but Valentina is here as well, and she's going to be showing off some of the features. So I'm full of cold. I apologize if I start sneezing and coughing in the middle of this, but I'll do my best. What we're going to look at today is Klaus's CSAT features, which this is the beginning of. There's more things to come as well, but these are the two main things that we've just released a few days ago. And the good thing about these features is that they are available to everybody across all plans, already being turned on. So once you've watched this, if you haven't used these features already, you can go straight into the dashboard and into the settings to have a look at them. And yeah, we're going to talk first about the CSAT dashboard. So what this is a new dashboard which is pulling CSAT data either from the Klaus surveys, which Valentina is going to talk about, or it's pulling data from your help desk, which you have integrated. So if you're using CSAT surveys from your help desk, and sometimes I think even if you're using a third-party survey, which is connected to your help desk, we can pull that as well. I saw that yesterday with one of our customers. So yeah, I will share my screen and we'll have a look at that. If you have questions, please drop them into the chat. We will answer them at the end. And if we can't get to them, we'll give you written answers as well by email afterwards. Okay. So I will share my screen and we'll go straight into the CSAT dashboard. Okay. Valentina, can you see? Can you see Klaus? Yep. All good. This is my biggest fear on these webinars, is that this isn't going to work, or it's going to show that I'm listening to ABBA on Spotify or something. So this is the CSAT dashboard. So this is found in the dashboard section. You've got your main dashboard here, and now you have the CSAT dashboard. So you should all see that already. And if you're using the Klaus surveys, it's better, because with the Klaus CSAT surveys, this is what we're using here, and we can pull all of this information. With the CSAT surveys from help desks or third-party ones, there might be some differences because it depends on what the API gives to us. So we might not have all of this, which is why using the Klaus surveys with that is the best. And this is our real dashboard. I blurred out any customer data here, but this is the real dashboard. We're pulling this from the CSAT survey, which we set up in Klaus, which we send out to you all after you've been in contact with us. So in this dashboard, you've got the usual filters. You have the time period. So I've selected a custom time period here. You can choose the workspace if you're looking at one agent or a group of agents or everybody. You can also filter by the score. So if you just want to see data for the 5-point ones, so we use a 1 to 5 survey. This is so you can look at data per score. And you've also got some other things like user group, where the conversations are coming from, where the data is coming from, and you can also report by tags. And then if you look into the substance of it, I've checked this, I've taken this time period, and you can see the overall CSAT. So we got 97%. This is a real score, by the way. So I'm quite happy to show this off. Between November and March, this is what Klaus got, 97%. That's 1% better than the previous period. We have a target of 90% to hit, and you can click here to set your target.
It basically means that you all are really amazing customers to work with.
Yeah, thank you very much. Apart from this person, who's this? I want to know who left 3 out of 5. But no negative ratings in all that time, so thank you. So yeah, you can see the breakdown here, the score, and you can also see the line, which is your goal, and you can see that we're above that line. And then you can see the breakdown here. We've got 91% of the ones we got were 5s, 9% were 4s, 1% were 3s. You can see this percentage change compared to the previous period, and how many answers, how many replies this actually was for. So that's your first little block, which gives you a good overview. Then something which is really important is the response rate. This is something that's really common in the industry, not getting enough engagement. So you can check that here. So we received 446 inbound conversations. We sent a survey to everyone, and we got 117 responses. That's 26% response rate, which and then 24%. It is high, yeah. And 24% of those 117, 28 of them left a comment as well. And our surveys, Valentina's going to show you, but our surveys do encourage your customers to leave better feedback than just a score.
So to give you a little bit of background information on that, responses is how many people rated, because usually it's first rating 5 points in our case, or you can have thumbs up, thumb down. And comments is who leaves a comment. And actually, we are much more interested in the comments, because the comments are something that you can then further analyze and that you can go deeper into it. That's why in the whole development process, we very much looked into, okay, how can we make sure that the engagement with the comments is as high as possible? And that will also be in the future be a focus of this feature, making people leave words, well, or emojis, like describe how they experience this.
Absolutely. It's the same for QA. We also want people to leave as many comments as well when they're doing internal reviews. Okay, and if you scroll down, you can also see your CSAT scores over time. So again, it's just like the other dashboard. You can look per month, per quarter, sometimes days and weeks, depending on the time period you selected. And you can see, in this case, per month, how many responses you got. You can see the score, so you can see the trend line, how the score progressed over time. And you can also see the green line here is your goal. One thing as well to mention, you can pin this as well. So if any of you are familiar with the pins, if you have these enabled, then you can also pin certain parts of this dashboard, or you can pin the totality of the dashboard here. Then we can look at tags as well. So for example, we have a tag in our help desk called Epic, which means it's a very, very, very long and complex ticket. We tag those. And you can see that for this time period, we had 117 conversations tagged with that. And 2 out of those 117, they got survey CSAT responses from the customers. So this is important if you're looking at, maybe VIP customers or a specific customer, and you tag with the customer name and you want to see how many responses that they're giving. So if I had 100 here, 100 replies out of 117, I definitely have to look into that. Like, why is that? Are we failing at that, or are we doing really well? What's the reason for this? CSAT reasons as well. You can see the tags that come from your help desk. Valentina, remind me where this has come from. I'm just having a blank moment.
This is what the drop-down menu, that if you have predefined reasons for the rating.
Yep, sorry, confused for a second. So you'll see in the survey, when Valentina shows the survey, you will see that when customers leave feedback, they can also choose a specific reason for the feedback, very much like our root causes. And in this case, ours, for example, agent was amazing, and 38 times out of 117, so that's the total number of reviews that we got, that's the one that was chosen. Agent was amazing.
Looking at the word cloud, it was probably Chris or Diana.
Yes, so that takes us to the next thing. So the word cloud is a very nice visual. This is good. Individuals can see this as well. So if an agent comes here, they will see their word cloud. But this basically takes all the words that came up and how often they come up as well. And it's a nice thing which you can share in Slack channels or in one-on-ones with people, if it's positive like this, to show the words that are coming up the most. So ours were great, Diana, issue, help, fast, all pretty good things. I don't know. Issue is not necessarily a positive word. And then you can go into the numbers themselves. So you've got CSAT by users. So we have the 2 people in our support team here, how many conversations they participated in, how many of those got CSAT, and what the response rate was. That is a bug, but we're going to fix it. So it's not 100%, but it will be what this divided into this is. How that's changed from the previous period, so you can track the response rate to make sure that people are still engaging, what CSAT score they got, and again how that changes. So last time Diana got 96%, and this month and in this period she got 98%. So you'll see all of your users there. Again, you can pin. And then the last table is you can see all of the actual conversations. You can see the comments that were left. And one really nice thing is that one of our data scientists has been working on this. She has a set of 10 tags that we automatically apply by looking at these comments and then adding a tag such as mid-length, lengthy, praise for speed, praise for quality, those kind of things, so you can classify the kind of comments. And we're going to work more with that as well. You'll be able to filter by those in future. So there you go. These are all the ones that got replies. You can see the comments. You can see the score as well. Something I didn't mention is that on the right-hand side, when you've selected the time period and who you're looking at, you actually see the tickets themselves as well. And you can go through and you can click on each one to open that up and see. I just blurred this out so you can't see the customer information, but you see the score next to each one as well. And yeah, I think that is pretty much it. Again, you can pin here. There's also some settings there about, you know, who the CSAT score is assigned to, and when the data is based on when the survey was replied to, or when the conversation was created. Something which can be useful. But all in all, that is everything for the CSAT.
Can you scroll down again to the last card, to the one with because there's a question. Did I understand correctly that the tagging of reasons for a CSAT score is done automatically? So the CSAT tag here, the mid-length, lengthy, there's also short, emojis only, etc. That is done automatically.
Yep. That is some magic, which is looking over the comment, and then this one you can see lengthy and it's longer than usual. Praise for speed. If I hover over that, Chris solved the issue super fast. There you go. So yeah, this is automatic. And
like there went a lot of work into it, given that most of the time that's why lengthy and short, for example, are CSAT tags, because a lot of people just write great or thank you or cool, etc. And so that's why there is only a very limited number of tags, because it's actually, the question is, you can either look at these. Lengthy is, for example, really helpful because you can look at what are the really long CSAT comments and what are the long ones compared to the mid-length ones, for example. And then when you want to dig deeper, you should always go back like to the conversation, which is why you have here the direct link to the conversation.
Yep.
Okay, and now we can look into how to get this data actually. So under your account settings, you have now the CSAT survey. Currently, you can only have one survey for the entire account. We know that some of you have more than one product or more than one division or more than one whatever, and will need one per workspace or several per account, depending on what where they should go out to. And this will be in the next iteration, but for this first one, there is one CSAT survey per account. And that's why I don't have the option here to create a new survey, but we're going to go through the existing survey. So let's look at how this is set up. The first thing that you define is the content. And you'll see you have on the left the different things that you can set up. And on the right, you can then always see how this will look like to the customer. The first one is the content. Who's the sender? What's the sender that when somebody replies back, this email should go to? So if you don't want to get any answers back, it's probably no reply or something. And then you can put an email subject, an intro question, if you want, or an intro comment, and the CSAT question. You can use the customer name, the name of the support rep, and the support ID within these questions. So you just scrolled it out of the window, Chris. If you scroll up a little bit, you see that there are customer name, support rep, support ID. So if you can basically take them down. So you could write, hey, customer name, what did you think about support rep, if you want to do this. And this will then be filled in through Klaus with the pertinent data that goes in there. The CSAT questions, you will see that those are currently pre-established because those are basically the standard questions in the industry, because CSAT has like a very clear what you are asking for. We plan to expand on this in the future, but for now, it's basically how would you rate the support that you've received. Styling, very straightforward. Upload your logo, choose a background, and choose how you want your buttons and links to look like. And then we have the, by the way, I don't know how big your logo can be, but I suppose your standard JPEG should work. And then we have the delivery, who gets the survey and when do they get it. Currently, we only have deliver via email. We are currently, lots of currentlies in there. We are already working on integrating this into chat. But for now, it's just email. That's why you can already see that at some point you'll be able to choose different methods there, but it's only one method at the moment. And you have different rules. Those are AND rules. So, for example, conversation status is closed, and there you can select several. So inside the selected, that is actually OR. So there, the conversation status is closed, abandoned, whatever applies to you. Here we have closed and done. Okay. And this depends a little bit on the number of connections that you have. For example, does it come in from different help desks, for example? Then you can exclude certain agent reply counts. For example, if there is no agent reply because it was spam, you can define that via agent reply count is 1 or more, because if no one replied back, then probably a CSAT survey shouldn't go out. Yep. And then the survey links. Our survey link expires after 60 days, which, to be honest, sounds a little bit long. I mean, I don't remember whom I talked to about what 2 months ago, and less so if I was talking to support. So probably something shorter here would work as well. And then you can choose the rating scale. And this one, you are probably all very familiar with, is the same rating scale. Like, not the same, but it's the same logic. So you can choose either number or emojis, and you can change between binary, 3-point, 4-point, and 5-point scale. There is a lot of discussion whether it's better to have a 5-point or a 4-point. With 4-point, you basically force the customer to be either a little bit more positive or a little bit more negative. With the 3-point scale, people can just use the neutral and kind of wiggle out of saying anything. And then you can add a drop-down with reasons for the score. We are currently experimenting with this, like internally. Currently, we are using those drop-downs, but we might actually take them away in the future, mostly because if you click on feedback, then you will see the preview for the drop-down. This is how it looks like for the customer. The thing is, usually when people choose something, like we're currently testing, if they choose something, are they then more or less likely to actually tell us why they gave this rating? So we are currently doing it with the drop down, and then at some point we're going to switch off the drop down and see if we get more wordy answers if we don't prescribe it to them. In general, if you plan to use the drop downs, I would recommend start without the drop down, analyze the feedback that you get, put this into buckets, and then use those buckets as your predefined reasons instead of making them up from scratch. Because most of the time, what we think the customer think might actually not be what the customer thinks. So it's better to go the other way around. And then you can define the thank you page. And here, if you click, the preview is under thank you. There you go. And you get the party emoji. Thanks for your feedback. And then you can write your own personal message about this. Do you have maybe like an email, how it looks like in your email, Chris?
Yes, I do. This is one I received. I don't know why I was in touch with our support. I can't remember, but I got one anyway on the 9th of March. This is what it looks like. So you can see the subject here, that it comes from this email, allows to unsubscribe if necessary. And then go question. And if I click on, I'm going to give a good rating to Diana.
And that's the answer to Alina's question. Does it happen in the email or on a landing page? As soon as you click on the email, it opens in a new tab. I was about to say, you better give her 5 stars. And there you go. Thanks for your feedback. Like the survey, etc.
Okay.
I think that's it about the CSAT. I wish I could talk more about it, but it's really quite straightforward.
So should we look through? Are there any questions? Sorry, go on.
Do CSAT surveys sent from a Klaus email address to our customers? No, there is like under sender, you can actually decide what the sender is. So in our case, of course, it comes from a Klaus domain, but you can put your own email in there, which is also the reply email. So if somebody then replies to the CSAT survey, it will go to the sender email that was defined. You can, in your plan is included up to 50,000 survey emails per month. That means if you currently have more than 50,000 conversations that are closing per month, which is quite a lot, then reach out to your account manager to see if we can cook up a custom plan for you. But that's a lot of emails. So most of you should be fine with 50,000. Timeline for when CSAT will be available for chat as well. Q2, kind of end of Q2. But it is currently already in shaping.
Are there any questions we didn't get to yet? Or anyone else have questions? We still have plenty of time.
We're so productive. Well, you said 20 minutes. It's 22 minutes, so your prediction was quite accurate.
Yeah. As Hillary is typing. I need the recording of the session. Yeah, everyone who registered, even people who didn't come. So if you have colleagues that weren't able to make it, you will all receive the recording automatically as soon as we finish this.
And the CSAT form questions are currently not customizable, but will be at some point. Multi-brand be available in Q2. I'm not going to promise that. I don't know. That's something. That's something we can figure out and can send out with the recording, maybe.
Exporting, no, not yet. Hillary asked if you can export the dashboard, but I think not right now. However, you can screenshot, and I also found our product manager just told me of a tool which allows you to make a document out of the page, so you don't have to like take a screenshot, take a screenshot. Let me just remember.
Can you elaborate on how Klaus retrieves the data on the dashboard when not using the Klaus option? In that case, we the API from Zendesk or Dixa or Freshdesk or whatever you're using, we use the data that we get from there. Which means sometimes you will see the same as you would see if you're using the Klaus survey, and sometimes some of the, like especially the number of how many surveys were sent out compared to how many conversations happened, that number is not always brought through the API. And yeah, I think that's the biggest gap. So sometimes the funnel actually looks like the first two numbers are the same. So it depends on the API. And then in that case, it really depends on the help desk you're working with. Sorry if I missed that, but basically your CSAT feature will replace the CSAT feature integrated with other third parties like Zendesk and Intercom. That is correct. If you want, you can use Klaus CSAT instead of Zendesk or Intercom or which other you're using.
Yeah. I think often that some help desks, they only offer their CSAT surveys on higher plans, which you might not want to upgrade to, or they might not be very good, or they might not exist. So in those
they might only
situations,
might only have a binary scale, and you want a little bit more details.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, just so you know, the tool I discovered today is called Fireshot. So it basically allows you, if you want to get a PDF of the dashboard without it being 3 different screenshots and pasting it somewhere, you can use Fireshot for that. It works quite nicely. So that's a nice way to get the reports out. I'm excited for this because the one in Zendesk is good or bad, and I'm excited to incorporate the 5-point scale versus the 2 we have now. That is true. The Zendesk one is good, I'm satisfied, bad, I'm
not satisfied, unsatisfied.
Is that a word? Unsatisfied? I don't speak English anymore.
Yeah, but it's not very good. Yeah.
Yeah. So that's the only option. Yeah.
I'm unsatisfied with the CSAT option in Zendesk.
Yes.
Okay, I think everybody's happy, us included.
Oh,
is there a field for comments in the CSAT form? Yeah. You can predefine them, but there is always a field for comments. And we actually optimizing for getting as many free written comments as possible, because those are it's much more interesting to see what the customer describes than just to see a 4-point or 5-point scale.
Yeah, and I'm pretty happy with the amount of comments we've got since we've been using the survey. At Klaus, we've got more comments, more in-depth comments as well. Is there a field comments? Yeah, okay. Someone else is typing.
Yes, we have seen an increase in response rate and in comment rate.
Yep. I didn't come with the numbers, sorry. I don't have the exact
there's
number.
now a cat in the email. Like the cats is why internet was invented. So
yeah, they are more visually pleasing. They are. There's more options to leave comments and choose from drop downs and things like that, and that has seen an uptick.
Currently, only our Intercom CSAT is pulling through to the CSAT dashboard, but not the Zendesk CSAT. Would this be due to our API, or can only one pull through for now? I actually don't know.
Come to our support team with that. If you can start a live chat, we can take that to the product managers responsible for this, and we can find out. Kasha, if you know how to start a chat with us.
Perfect.
It'll be me that's answering, so give me time to have a break after this, and then I'll get to it. Lots of questions today. This is good.
I feel now like I have to organize this here for before the next call. You can call me out in the next call if this still looks like this.
Biggest side set is in the CSAT is that you can only send surveys while the ticket is not closed. This might be gonna. Yeah, so you had you wanted to see the options, Oliver. You want to see the options for sending out the survey. Let me just double check again. So we only send it out when the ticket's closed. But let me just check the options. Conversation status is agent reply count is more or less than. Conversation channel connection is or is not. Conversation type is or is not. Conversation status is or is not. And conversation state, I don't know what that means. I think it means status. So you've got plenty of options there. You can add multiple rules basically, but have a play around with those and add some rules so you can customize exactly when they go out. And I like Selena's question. How can we comment on CSATs internally? Using the pins. Is that right, Valentina? That's the best way?
Yep.
So you see the little pin icon next to every part of the CSAT dashboard, or you can pin the whole CSAT dashboard. If you pin something, that's private to you, unless you mention other users in the comment, and that shares it with them.
Is it possible to use both Zendesk and Klaus? He said. It's a good. I don't know if it's. I don't think there are technical limitations, but I wouldn't want to send out 2 emails to a customer for each conversation.
Do you mean sending? You might send Zendesk survey to certain customers, and Klaus wants to others. Because I guess you don't want to send out 2 different surveys. Yeah. But we can talk. The person asking this question, we know each other. We can talk.
And then how long will we have this feature in our plan, or is it included in all plans? So this is included in all plans and will always forever be included in all plans. What as we're going to develop this feature more, there will be more AI magic coming into place, like automatic tagging of more advanced things that I don't even know what it could be at the moment. But at some point, if it gets very AI and runs through data pipelines, then specific add-on features might only be available in more advanced plans. But what you see now will always be available for everyone. While you're at 50,000 megs per month. So if you send out more than 50,000, then it also might mean that you need to go on a other plan or do an add-on for volume.
Yep. So we're not trying to sell you anything today. Everybody has this.
Just for today.
50,000 is a lot, yeah. I think we're on 400, so we've got some more to go. Okay, yep. Goodbye, Oliver.
Have a great
So I guess
rest of whatever. Time zone depending.
Yep. Thank you, everybody, for joining. Any other questions, you can email me, chris@klausapp.com. Come into our support center as well if you want. There's a knowledge base there. I'm going to enable 2 articles about this afternoon, so they will be available in an hour or so. And yeah, stay in touch. Best of luck using this, and have fun.
And feedback is always welcome.
Yes, please.
Bye.
Bye.